Well, we've seen all the rain over the last few days, but which records did we actually go ahead and break?
Yeah, that is the question. This is one of our biggest rainstorms on record. Meteorologist Bianchi joining us with the top 5 most impressive rain stats from this week's storm.
Yeah, Alex and Tom, certainly an impressive storm. You don't need me to sit here and tell you that it rained a lot. I'm going to put this into a little bit of context and perspective. And for us here in Denver, I think it's safe to say this was one of our biggest rainstorms on record, and records go back about 150 years here in Denver. So for context, last 2 days, including today, we picked up about 3.75 inches worth of rainfall here in Denver. That made it our third wettest 2-day period since 1872. So again, this is more than 150 years worth of data that we've got, and our wettest 2 days, our third wettest 2 days since 1872. That is really impressive. But I'm going to go in order here of what I think are the most impressive weather stats from this storm. So let's take a look at this. Yesterday, we picked up 2.92 inches worth of rainfall. Now, that broke our old daily record of about 1.5 inches, no big deal. But you put that into perspective, that was our 8th wettest day ever recorded in Denver yesterday. I mean, it rained all day long. That was really unusual, but it was our 8th wettest day on record here in Denver. Now, how about our friends from Seattle? I know a lot of people like to think about Seattle, how rainy it is. Between the last 3 days in Denver, we picked up 4.4 inches worth of rainfall, right? In Seattle, since April the 1st, you've had a little less than 4 inches worth of rainfall. So Denver has saw more rain this week, or in the last really 48 hours, than Seattle has seen in the last month and a half. How about that? All right, let's get even a little bit more impressive than that, at least in my opinion. I know I'm getting a little nerdy here, but this week here in Denver, 4.4 inches worth of rainfall. In a full year, we average about 14.5 inches worth of rainfall. That means, roughly, we saw about a third of our average annual rainfall. Again, annual rainfall, about a third of it in 2 days here in Denver. Now, how about this? This, to me, is the most impressive part. I've lived in Denver for a little over 13 years, and I don't recall ever seeing this. And I'm sure a lot of you who've been here for a long time do not recall ever seeing this. 42 consecutive hours, basically nonstop rainfall for us here in Denver. Now, I grew up originally on the East Coast. That sometimes happens out on the East Coast. Here in the high desert in Denver, 42 consecutive hours of near constant rain from 4 p.m. on Wednesday until 10 a.m. today. That, to me, here, Tom and Alex, that is what stands out about the most stunning statistics of what we saw this week.
Yeah, too much of a good thing. I mean, you normally think it's good for the crops. I personally have no crops. But
you still think about
you don't.
it.
But I do eat crops once they've been cropped. But I know for a lot of farmers, it was too much.
Yeah, probably in some cases too much. We certainly flirted with too much of a good thing. I'll say this, though. It's going to look like Ireland around here in about a couple of weeks, if not already. So there's that.
Especially when my crops come in.
Yeah, when your crops come in, exactly.
I'd love to see that, all that green for sure.
All right, thanks, Chris. You know, those stats that he mentioned come from DIA, parts of the metro area. Some of them saw 6 inches or more of rain over the last 48 hours.